Hey everybody, it's Kia. So today I wanted to go ahead and close out the June 12th through June 15th paycheck budget. And before we dive in, I just wanted to say a quick thank you to everybody who has hopped on to watch my videos. I really do appreciate all the support that I've been getting so far. It just fills my heart to join in on this debt-free community and just to see all of this lovely support and everything. So it makes the process a little easier. So if I sound a little nervous, I am still nervous. With all the support that I've received so far, let me readjust in my chair over here. I really just have felt really warm by all of that. So I just want to do a quick thank you. But really quick, let's go ahead and zoom in. I've gotten a couple comments that you can't see what I've been talking about or writing, so I'm going to try and zoom in so you can see, and hopefully that will help you guys out. And I will try to keep in mind moving the paper up and down so that you can see everything, but if I don't, I'm so sorry. I will readjust it. And if you hear background noise, it's my kids and my husband. They are cooking and cleaning and watching movies and stuff like that out there, so I know the noise is pretty loud. But now, if you have not watched my last budget check-in video, and you did not know, I do use Quicken to track all of our expenses and to reconcile my banks and all that good stuff. So rather than rewriting all of our transactions, although it probably sink in better if we did, I decided I would just print our transaction detail for each account. So that's what I've done. I printed one from our Bank of America card as well as our bill pay account. Or not card, this is our Bank of America checking account. And our bill pay account is through Capital One. We use the Capital One 360 checking account. And what we do is we deposit all of our money into Bank of America, and for the bills that I have budgeted in advance for, or that I'm budgeting to come out for that pay period, I transfer the money over into the Capital One account. And then from there, everything's set on auto pay to go ahead and pay on their due dates for whatever the minimum payment is. And I track all that in the computer. As they clear, I delete them off of my little templates, and I just kind of readjust the balance, trying to do as close to a zero-based budget as possible. So with that in mind, I do get transactions like this one down here that have not cleared yet, and this one's going to be for our Spotify payment. Or if you look at our bill pay account, let's see back here. So here's one of my templates, and as you can tell, I started adjusting for it. We did have our life insurance come out, and as they come through, I just delete them off of the little template, and it constantly changes the running balance of the bank account. So I just try to make sure that once all the bills have been paid, as you look at the final balance, it's as close to a zero-based budget as possible. Now, because of that, though, sometimes it's difficult to keep track of what items are still outstanding that I have budgeted for. So I printed an uncleared transaction report, which is basically just my items that I haven't reviewed and cleared out of the register. And it wouldn't print them on here, but these are all items that I was budgeting in advance for. And then as they come through, I try to accumulate all of these little items that are under budget. I do offset them with items that are over budget if they are pretty close, and then whatever's left over, I will transfer that into a separate savings account. And the hope is when you do that, all of these little items will accumulate into something big enough to make a payment onto our debt. So that's my goal so far, and it seems to be working. I'll show you guys here in a few minutes, but that's what I've done. I went through, I figured out how much was for debt, how much was for bills, how much was for medical that hasn't cleared the bank, because I still have one back here all the way from 6/12. And actually, if I turn it over, whoops, didn't mean to throw that. I still have some back here from May 15th that haven't cleared the bank yet. So instead of having just one big roll forward number, I went ahead and I added these up, and then that way I have a general idea of how much I'm saving back for future expenses. So this is where I got my roll forward for the current budget. Now the other thing that I did was shopping, food, entertainment are items that I know we have a spending problem for, or spending problem with. So I also created this expense tracker, and I've gone through both of these transaction logs, and I've added those items up so that I can compare what we budgeted and how much we actually spent. And as you can tell, this was the first paycheck budget that we did, I don't know, like a week or so ago, and we had overspent quite a bit. And this paycheck, we did the same thing. But part of it was intentional. Like, not all the food was intentional, because we did eat out quite a bit. I want to say probably about $100 was just eating out. But the rest of this amount right here, that $771, was actually us trying to stock up our pantry again. It was getting really, really, really low. It was pretty bare. So we went ahead and made a Sam's Club trip last weekend, and we stocked up on quite a bit of groceries. That way we can do some meal prepping, plan ahead on our dinners, and hopefully not eat out so much. So we did take some money out of our debt snowball to go ahead and accomplish that, and just kind of give us a little bit of a head start on our pantry and our meal planning a little bit. The other thing that I wanted to see was, we picked up a bad habit of smoking again in the fall, and I haven't been budgeting that in because it's not something that I want to continue budgeting for. I hate that we've picked it up, and I hate how much it costs, but I did want to see how much we are spending on that. Plus, we do go to the dollar store, Family Dollar, you know, things like that, on a not a regular basis. We've actually cut back on that quite a bit with the coronavirus, but we were going there quite a bit for a little while, and all those little charges add up. So I wanted a line item in here for shopping, and then that way I can kind of get an idea of how much I need to start budgeting for in the future, based off of our spending habits, and where maybe we can be a little more intentional with our spending, and really be more diligent about the items that we buy. So this is just going to be a little tracker for me. I don't know if I'll show it to you guys every time, but I did want something just so that I could see by pay period how much we just overspent, because as you can tell, that's a lot of money, and that could have paid off one of the credit cards this month easily. That probably could have paid off 2 credit cards right there. So yeah, that's kind of where that's at. And so with that in mind, like I said, I've already totaled all these up. I totaled them up on the back of these trackers, and I'm going to go ahead and lay them out over here. That way I can see them. And we will start closing out this paycheck budget right here. So let me get it so that I can write it in. I'll continue to do the same thing. If it came out of my paycheck and I have written it in pink, I'll go ahead and write it in pink. If it comes out of my husband's check, I'll write it in green. And then anything that went over budget, I'm going to write in this dark pink red color, just so that it kind of pops out a little more. But let's go ahead and dive in. So for my paycheck, I pretty much get paid the same amount all the time. And let me pull this tracker a little closer to me so that I can see it. So my paycheck was $18.52.34. My husband's paycheck, he gets paid bi-monthly. It's really hard for me to account for because I don't really keep track of what days hit on what pay period. So I budget $1,300, and this paycheck, it was $1,353.01. And I like to check them off, that way I feel accomplished as we go. And then as far as our snowball goes, our roll forward, I did have to correct this total. So I fixed that. And then on top of the roll forward, I also deposited an extra $150 into the account from just some side work that I did. So that makes our total roll forward with the extra income $1767.42, which leaves the total income after I adjusted the roll forward $47.65 is what we had to work with, and it was actually $49.72.77. So yeah, that's the income that we had to work with. And then I think the easiest thing to do would be to go through the debt payments first. Alright, so Sam's Club, it came to $66 this month. The GMC card was $32. This one is $25. Chase was $55. Bank of America was $25. This one was $25. And then this one I actually put it on the budget too soon. So it shouldn't have been there. It should have actually been a savings for next payday because it's going to hit that transaction log. So hopefully I'll get a hold of that a little better, and the month of July will go a little smoother. But now we'll go ahead and list in the things that came out that were not included on this paycheck tracker. Most of this was already budgeted in that roll forward. So we'll go ahead and write them in. We do have a small balance on our Chase Amazon card again, just from some miscellaneous shopping, and I need to go ahead and make a payment on it, but it had a minimum payment of $35 draft from our account. Discover, this one was already budgeted in a prior paycheck. It just didn't make it onto this log, sadly. So it came to $74 this payday. The city card, it cleared on the 16th, and it's going backwards because I'm reading the transaction log backwards. It was for a weird dollar amount. It was $44.26. My Discover card, cleared on the 16th as well, and it was for $82. And then our Amazon store card is the last one, and it hit on the 15th for $33. Okay, so let's go ahead and add all of that up. All right, 66, 32, 25, 55, 25, 25, 35. Sorry, now the kids are bickering in there. Perfect. Okay, so our total debt payments this payday were $496.26, and these were just all minimum payments. Alright, so the next thing that I want to fill out is going to be our expenses. So let me go ahead and try and get them in focus for you. There we go. Okay, so for autofill, we did have some autofill. We're still not commuting quite as much, and we haven't been making just drives. We like to just go out on drives. We spent $45.14. Groceries are the next thing, and I'm gonna go ahead and write them in the dark pink color because they were way over budget from what we had originally thought we were gonna do, and we spent $771.75. The medical, they still have not charged us for that, and I'm just gonna hold it back as savings for later. That way when they do open back up, I can go ahead and pay them the full balance that we owe them. Pets, this was our Chewy order, and there again, I kind of made a change to it last minute. We didn't need cat food, and I wanted to make the free shipping limit, so I added on another bag of dog food. So that put us slightly over the budget, but I'm okay with that. It kind of gets us ahead of our dog food just a little bit. So the bags are slightly smaller, so I'm trying to see how often we're going to go through them compared to what we were buying at Sam's Club. Now the student loan, that's my UHIA payment, and that's the only one that we're paying on. Everything else we're kind of budgeting as a debt snowball payment. And then our auto loans, these are what I have them set for auto pay, and they both did clear. Now the auto insurance did not clear. I messed up the payment when I tried to change the online bank, and I've been talking to my insurance agent, and I guess I gotta fill out a new form, and then I'm gonna have to call in a payment or something like that. So I did not pay anything this payday. And then entertainment, I had budgeted for our Netflix and our Spotify to both come out, but actually only one of them was coming out this payday. So that was our Netflix, and it was $17.31. So the other $15 is going to come down here to the bill savings when we're all done. The life insurance did clear. That was $43.04. And then our telephone, that was $371.01. Utilities, this is our internet, that was $84.14. Shopping, we went over budget on our shopping, but that's mainly from our cigarettes. That was $366.97. And then homeschool, I'm still trying to get all of our homeschool shopping done, but I did spend $280.63. So let's go ahead and add those ones up. I think I missed something. Let me do it again. I am bad at this. There's my computer dinging. No, that's right. Okay. And then I also need to add on to the bottom here, we had some unbudgeted expenses, which are a credit card that my husband has that he has just full control of. I don't do anything with that account. And then we spent a little bit of entertainment money that we had not budgeted for, and so that was $56.60. I just had to look at that expense log that I had before. So all together we spent $28.48.97. Okay. Now for our debt savings, this is going to be kind of a hybrid of the little bit that I did transfer into our debt savings account. I only cleared out one of my budget items, and that was for $6.74. I still have another $400 just kind of sitting there waiting for me to clear out, but I'm kind of waiting to see how the pay periods go. So our debt savings at the moment is $427.51, which includes part of what I have transferred out, and the rest is just kind of what I'm sitting on. In addition to the debt savings that I'm sitting on, I'm also sitting on $277.32 in homeschool money. And then our bill savings, our roll forward for the bill savings, that will come out next payday. I want to list that one separate, is $285. And then that leaves us with a remaining roll forward of about $600, which is going to be that, it's going to be the medical that we haven't paid for yet. Let me grab that. So I've got about $195 for medical, and then I've got $600 in bill savings, which includes 2 months worth of auto insurance that hasn't cleared the bank, and then we've got about $55 sitting in the register as well. So let me go ahead and add that up, and whatever the difference is, it should be our remaining roll forward that I'm not gonna separate anyway, you know. Oops, I went backwards. Okay, so our remaining roll forward is $637.71. Okay, and then if I take that and I add in my bill money that I'm holding on to, plus my homeschool money, plus our debt savings, comes out to $1627.54, and then I actually physically transferred over $6.74, so that leaves me a roll forward total of $1620.80. I think I've miscalculated somewhere by $2, but it's not worth going through and trying to figure out where the $2 is. So I'm gonna go ahead and just type that in, or write that in, I mean, and then just make a note that my calculations off by $2. But like I said, I'm good with it being off $2. It's not worth going through and redoing all that again. So, but yeah, so that is the current paycheck tracker. Like I said, I am excited to get through the month of June to see how much we are under budgeting and how much we just are a little overzealous with our spending, so that we can go ahead and kind of get control over that and intentionally set aside money for some of that. That way we can still have a little bit of freedom in our spending, but not necessarily be extravagant like we have been. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this turns out. I can't wait to go ahead and hole punch this again and get it into my planner. Sadly, I had an issue. My husband set a plate on it or something, and it kind of got all crinkled. And then when I was rewriting it the first time, I had miscalculated my original debt total, so I had to dig out the other one from the trash and then print it again. So this has definitely been an adventure this payday, but we'll see how it all turns out. I am really excited to go ahead and close out the month of June here pretty soon. And then, oh, I had one more thing. I know I'm kind of rambling, but I had one more thing. When I was talking about being intentional with money, I also created the sinking fund tracker. These are the sinking fund accounts that I would like to get established, because those are things that just kind of pop up on us. Auto expenses, that's for oil changes, things like that. As you can tell, we don't have a whole lot in our homeschool account because right now we're spending it and it's all coming out of current savings. But I do want to establish a homeschool account for next year. And then our debt savings is where I'm transferring over those little budget variances. So at the end of May, I had $30 in there. And then we did put $500 into an emergency fund. But these are all the little transactions that I've made throughout the month. And my debt savings is already up to $400. And that's really just by transferring over some of the debt snowball money at the beginning of the month, but everything else is budget variances. So I cannot wait to see how this is going to continue growing over, a period of time. We do have, like I said, about $400 in there, and I will be transferring that out, and I'm going to use that as part of the money to make a payment onto that Capital One account at the end of this month. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I hope you guys enjoyed my little budget check-in. I have to say it didn't turn out as well as I hoped it would, but I am really glad that we are doing this and we can really see the areas that we're having issues with. So we will go ahead and close this video out for the moment. I really do appreciate you guys watching it, especially if you've made it all the way through. I know it was a longer video. I really do appreciate it. And if you want to see more videos coming up, please make sure to hit the red subscribe button down below. I will be posting a couple more videos this coming week. We will be planning our July budget as well as our July 1st paycheck budget here pretty soon. And then now that we're towards the end of the month, I should be able to do our debt payoff snowball update video as well. So I hope to see you guys soon, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And